Welcome back to the D4 channel. It's been a minute, but we are back, and today we're doing a spoiler review question mark on Star Wars Young Jedi Adventures. I say question mark because this is like nothing really happened in this show, but for you guys who maybe want to watch this show, quote unquote spoiler free, so you don't come at me. I'm gonna give the warning. This will be kind of like a spoiler review, but I'll basically just be giving my general thoughts on this show. Now, this show is clearly not created for people of my age. It's created for young kids, and probably more like babies. You know, you put your baby or your very young child in front of the television. You want them to watch some nice cartoons that have no violence, nothing like that. So you put on some Star Wars Young Jedi Adventures, excuse me, and I watch this because I am a Star Wars fan, so I watch everything Star Wars at least once. And this is set during the High Republic. Now, if you don't know about the High Republic, it's this new initiative that Lucasfilm has been doing. Most of it has been only in book form, and we've seen a lot more about the High Republic throughout a lot of media. Like we've seen it more in comic books a little bit. The new game Star Wars Jedi Survivor. We've seen the High Republic bleed into that storyline as well. And here in this young animated cartoon, it's all about these three kids, Kai Brightstar and his two friends, Liz and Nubs, with their human, non-force sensitive pilot, Nash. And they basically just go on, adventures. And the themes of each episode, and again, this is made for children, so it's kind of, it bangs you over the head if you're an adult, but about friendship, not doing everything by yourself, learning how to be patient, all that stuff. But what I really liked about this show is that it kind of showed how the younglings back then were trained, how it differentiated from how they get trained in the Clone Wars. Now, during the High Republic, this is the height of both the Republic's prosperity and power and the Jedi. And in this era of basically almost virtually no real war besides, the threat of the Nile and the Drengir and stuff like that, they're free to actually just be Jedi. They're not soldiers. They are peacekeepers, like Mace Windu said in episode 2. And they're not taught to be warriors. They're more like, of course they fight. They learn how to use their lightsabers. They learn how to fight, but they're taught to help people, help one another, be at peace with everything around them. Meanwhile, in the Clone Wars, they do kind of learn that, but like Ahsoka said, ever since she was a Padawan, all she knows is to be a soldier. Same thing with people like Cal Kestis. The minute they are able to wield a lightsaber and all that, they are taught to be soldiers because the Republic needed them in the Clone Wars. But here, you don't need that. And you see people like Master Yoda. He pops in a few episodes, and I love to see him. He's a lot brighter. He's a lot lighter than when he's on the Clone Wars, where he's a lot more sad and distraught with everything that's going on. And he just loves to teach. He loves to teach kids, and he's teaching these kids every now and again. And these kids, Kai, Brightstar, Liz, and Nubs, I find them to be very charming. They're very, very good characters. Nubs is a new species, kind of looks like a little blue Wookiee, and I don't know how long his species lives, but he could appear. If he does live for hundreds of years, we could see him again. But what I'm really interested in this story is that this story, the Young Jedi Adventures, is canon. So like we could potentially see Kai Brightstar, Liz and Nubs and Nash. We could potentially see them in future books down the line, because this is going to be a continuing thing of them, growing up, becoming adults. So that's what I'm very curious about. Like, we could potentially see these characters in more grown up, older adventures. So I enjoyed this animation. Not something I would rewatch, just because I want to rewatch something in Star Wars. But definitely, if you have a young kid, and Star Wars can get a little violent, despite it being mainly targeted towards children. So this would be a good gateway into putting your young child into the Star Wars universe. And I actually quite enjoyed it, despite the fact that it was not made for people of my age. But if you want to check it out, definitely do. You won't be disappointed. A lot of adventures with them swinging their lightsabers, doing mayhem, befriending bounty hunters, fighting pirates, all that stuff. If you like that stuff, you just want, sometime good time, watch and check out, the Young Jedi Adventures. But that's it for this somewhat spoiler review, but basically more of my thoughts on this new anime series. I'm very curious and excited to see if we see these young kids again down the line in the High Republic. But that is it for this review. Please subscribe to the D4 channel for our version of Star Wars entertainment in this section of the universe on YouTube. And as always, from me, Hamid, and my counterpart, Danielle, may the Force be with you always.